Welcome to my side of the internet. Hi, what's up guys and gals? Today is really just a video showcasing the beauty of cycling and what it has done in my life, really. For starters, you're currently watching some video footage of me going down one of the highest points in the Franklin Mountain State Park here in Southwest Texas. It's an incredible vista, really, and one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been, really, my whole life. And I'm not just saying that because it's my hometown, but it's because it's truly stunning. It has those incredible vistas, really, because it has some really green places, actually. Even though we're located in the desert, since it's monsoon season, it's been raining like crazy for the past month or so. So due to the excess rain and low temperatures, it's actually made our mountains greener. There's a lot of plants growing, and it's really pretty. It really looks like just a mountain that has a bunch of grass. But later down and because of that, it makes it really bearable. But because of that as well, a lot of the trails and a lot of the most well-known trails down here in the Franklin Mountains have actually been destroyed with all the runoff and all the water, streams and rivers that were created because there was a lot of raining. So you'll see, and later down in the video, you'll see me having to get off the bike and then having to walk kind of like a little crossing section. But you'll get the point, really. And that's about it. I'm not really going to get into the more technical stuff, but this is called, what I'm rating right now, actually, it's called, I didn't start off at the top, right? I had to, bike up, but I ended up getting all the way to the top, which is called the Northern Franklin Peak. It's about 2,000 feet of elevation, nothing like other elevations like Colorado or Washington, etc. But it's still a pretty big climb if you're not used to climbing especially with the big bike. It took me about 2 hours. But anyways, going down from the Franklin Peak through Mundy's Gap and into Old Tin Mine Trail, all the way down into the parking lot. And of course you'll see it. But now that that's all out of the way, I wanted to share my experience with cycling and what big impact it's done in my life. This video might be a little bit long, and it might be, hey, why are you making your very first video such a long video? Well, I feel like this is something that I want to share with everyone, and whoever finds this video, I want them to realize that. And it doesn't have to be cycling. It can be whatever you want in your life. But I want you to see how something unique in your life can express such a big, profound difference, both for you mentally, spiritually, and physically. And so this is kind of my story, and I wanted to share it with everyone else. But essentially, I started cycling about 4 years now. 3 years, really. But 3 years ago, I was in college, and I was really unhappy. I mean, I wasn't depressed or anything like that, but I was unhappy. I wasn't really happy with the state of the things that were going. I mean, I had a family, I had a job, and I was going to school full time, so I wasn't necessarily just, not doing anything. I was progressing in a way, but it wasn't satisfying for me. It was something that I was just, hey, I don't really know about this. And I am so sorry if you hear some loud noises. For some reason, my audio cancellation is not working. My little foams that are supposed to suppress the sounds outside of me. So I'm sorry if you hear some noises. But anyways, I wasn't satisfied with my life. I just wasn't really happy as I should be. And I saw that as a big factor in me wanting to explore what I could. That's when I started to look into stuff like running, exercise. I wanted to see stuff that I could do on my off time where I wasn't necessarily comfortable with it. I always knew that I could always play video games or I could always read a book, but those weren't things that I was really comfortable doing those things already. And so I wanted to challenge myself really. And one of the things that I said to myself was, hey Carlos, you're gonna have to do something out of your comfort zone in order to experience life. So that's what I did. I ended up just, going on YouTube. I started to run a little bit in the mornings. That didn't really work out for me. Then I stumbled across a YouTube channel called Ryan Van Duzer or Duzer TV. And he's a cyclist. If you guys know about the cycling, touring, backpacking community, he's there. He's a really good, outspoken, really outdoors, loving life man. And I really looked up to him and the things that he was doing in his own life. And I realized, hey, if he can be happy, I mean, obviously anyone can be happy, right? But I said to myself, hey, I can do that. I can do this. At that time, I decided to buy a bike so I can commute to work and school because I actually was a work student at my local community college. And so I decided, hey, I can't really afford a really nice touring bike or a commuter bike or anything like that, but we'll see what I can find. And I ended up going on Facebook Marketplace. For people that don't really have Facebook, that's really just the Craigslist of Facebook, really, where people can just post things. And I found this guy, this gentleman. He was selling a giant Thalon. I believe that's how you pronounce it, Thalon. It was just a hybrid bike. It was a mountain, but more style as a kind of a hybrid adventure bike, where it had 700C tires and it could go all the way up to 2.3 inches. But for me, that was just what I needed. I needed something to get me from point A to point B. I didn't really need all the fancy gears. I didn't really need anything, gadgety or latest in the year. And so I bought it. I was a college student. I still am a college student, actually, in university. But, I was poor back then. I'm still poor now. And one of the big things that I see was that, hey, I can make this work. $300 is probably what I can afford at the moment. And it wasn't really a Walmart bike. It was a giant bike. And I realized, hey, I can buy this bike. So I ended up buying the bike. My very first bike, right after, in over 20, maybe like 7 years. Because my last bike, I had it back in middle school. And at that point, I was 22 when I bought this bike. Anyways, I know I'm going a little bit boring, but bear with me, people. Long story short, I started to commute by bike. I started to explore my local trails. Nothing fancy, nothing big. But being able to go to point A to point B on my own, being myself, the only factor that could stop me, changed my perspective completely. And I absolutely love that about being able to find out about cycling. Cycling has been able to bring out the best out of me and my potential as a person, as a human being, and just as that regular person like anyone could say. One of the big things that I really, really wanted to just figure out in my life is this worth it? Is this something that I want to continue? Because there's nothing more crushing than to put all your strength, put all your effort, put all your dreams in something that you thought was going to make you happy. But after you make up that cliff, after you make that obstacle, you hustle and you get to become whatever you want it to be, or whatever your goal was, you achieved it. But you realized it wasn't what you wanted. And there's nothing more crushing than to realize that. And for me, that was the big thing. For me, that was, hey, I don't want to lose this. And, in life, it's understandable that people will say, hey, you never know unless you try. Or sometimes you might think, hey, you need to try new things in order to succeed or find that joy. And I totally agree with that perspective. I understand. It's a perspective that no one will be able to really 100% have a foolproof plan that it's gonna work or it's not gonna work. Because you do need to get out there. You need to get out there out of your comfort zone and be the best person that you can be. Read 20 books at a time, whatever. But everyone has to admit at one point or another, it crushes you when those goals just don't satisfy you. And for me, that was a thing. So over the year, a couple of years later, I'm the happiest I've ever been in a long time. I do get my ups and downs. Every person has that. Don't get me wrong. It's not like cycling has 100% made my life perfect, because it hasn't. But you know what it has had an effect on? And that's being able to help me achieve that real feeling of I have been able to do this, and I am so happy that I am doing this. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm road cycling, I'm mountain biking, I'm commuting by bike, I'm touring through all of Texas on my bike, and it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, everyone. And that's what my message was for today for you guys. I wanted you guys to realize that it doesn't mean that cycling will always be my, hey, this is what I need to do every time I'm sad. Because I know I need to cope with my sadness or my depression or anything like that. I know I need to do it in different ways. But this is how cycling has changed my life. It's changed it by allowing me to get out of my comfort zone and truly believe in myself. Hey, Carlos, you got this. You were able to climb 2,000 feet of elevation in 2 hours. That's hard. But you know what else is hard? Getting through your last midterm or getting through that breakup that you just had. But hey, if you were able to climb 2,000 feet of elevation, you're able to get through these things as well. And that's how cycling has changed my life. It has found a way to stabilize my mental health, my spiritual health, and my physical health even. Being able to wake up every morning happy because, hey, I get to ride my bike today. It's an amazing feeling. There's no doubt about it. It's always going to be there, and I will never be able to be more grateful than to my past self getting out of the comfort zone for the first time. And so for me, that's how cycling has changed my life. I know there could be other details. I know a lot of people could say, hey, that's so common. And by all means, if it's common, that's fine. I don't mind that. I don't. I am glad that it works for me and it works for other people. But today's video was about that. Was to showcase that, hey, you can do this. You can go out there, whether it be running, walking, reading a book, creating videos, creating art, shooting a gun. Who cares? That might be a little controversial, the last one. But whatever your passion and the way that it gets you out of your comfort zone, it allows you to grow. We are all living a life where we want to is to have a continual progression, continual growth. If we don't have that, then what do we have? We just have a life not really worth living, really. When you think about it, it's just a life that you're just going through the motions. And it's okay to have those emotions sometimes. It's okay to just say, hey, my life is just taking me a little bit there, a little bit here. That's fine. I understand that. But you need to realize that at one point or another, your future self will thank you for saying, hey, you were able to read and memorize and learn the human anatomy body because of that textbook that you'll spend countless nights reading and rereading and rereading again. Or, hey, you were able to create that mural that you've always wanted to create. That's the little things in life that will get us through and will help us succeed. Thank you everyone so much for listening to me. I know this video, and heck, you could have watched a Rick and Morty episode or an Office episode in the 22 minutes, or this video is a little bit less than that, but in the 18 minutes of the video, you could have done that, but you listened to this little rant of mine, and I'm glad that you were able to share this moment with me. Of course, share your stories down below in the comments section. Let me know what drives you and motivates you to continue on with life. Is it reading a book? Is it gardening? Is it weightlifting? Heck, it could be driving up and down your city. Music, whatever it is, I want to hear it. Let me know. And if this video has been able to inspire you to venture off in those things, then I'm glad it did. I'm happy it did, because if it didn't, well, I guess I better make another video, right? But thank you so much, guys, for listening to me. I hope I continue to make more videos like these. Obviously, the video, as you see, it's a rough one. It is my first video. I do have limited knowledge of video editing and video creation, but hey, this is taking me out of my comfort zone, right? And that's what I should be able to do. Of course, I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always open to ideas. Let me know down in the comment section what you like to listen to. I'm working on the next video. It's just me road biking or road cycling. I like cycling better than biking, really. I don't know, but let me know what you guys want to listen to next time, and I will be here. Have a good night. Peace.